Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Bakari Diarasuba. I'm back here with another video, and today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about how I made just a little over $7,000 investing in real estate in West Africa, specifically Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire in the Ivory Coast. And how did I do that? Jumping straight into it, I bought a piece of a village. So I currently live in New York City. New York City was once a village, right? And the rightful owners of this village are the natives. Obviously, we know the story. The settlers and the colonizers came and they took over the land and pushed out the natives. What should have happened is that the natives, the rightful owners of this land, should have had the opportunity to protect this land, put value towards this land, and sell their land at a value that they deem fair, right? So I know in the context of the States, that might seem very far-fetched, but in a place like the African continent, we're civilized people. This is actually a reality. So take the Ivory Coast, for example. In a place like the Ivory Coast, the owners of the village, they own this land and they get to decide how this land gets distributed. It doesn't matter if the government needs it. It doesn't matter if whoever it is, right? They have to come to talk to the villagers, right? And there's usually a chief of the village and so on and so forth. They have a structure in place. And so what they pretty much do is they get into an agreement with this real estate development company and they say, we have rice plantations and we have rubber plantations and bananas and cocoa and all this stuff on our land, right? And this is acres of land, right? Like sometimes it can be as little as 1 acre to 150, 200 acres, 300, 1,000 acres, right? Depending on the village and who owns what. And the way this works is the real estate development company gets into an agreement with the villagers and they say, okay, we'll do this work for you. We'll get the machines and we'll come and we'll get, in French, on dit un géomètre. I don't know how to say géomètre in English, but somebody will figure that out for me. But they get someone that's a planner, a city planner. Think city planner. They get a city planner together. They're gonna put a plan in place. They're gonna make like reservation for a school, for a hospital, and they're gonna make the roads and et cetera, right? And then they carve out the soon-to-be neighborhoods and suburbs and things of that nature, right? So that they do all of that work, and then they give all of the paper, they give it back to the rightful owners of the village, and then they themselves sell off the land how they do it. Here's the key. Sometimes those companies sometimes they're short on funds and they need to raise some money to be able to actually do the job, right? And so they kind of go out and look for people to sell a piece of their land that they're going to acquire from the villagers, right? So let's say in total, when this job is done, it's going to be 1,000 plot of lands. And the villagers say, okay, for you doing this job, we're going to give you 100 plot of lands, 200, 500 plot of lands. So the real estate development company takes this and they say, okay, cool. In our 500 plot of lands that we're going to get, we're actually going to sell 100 of this plot of lands to raise some money, to raise some capital, to be able to allow us to do this job. One plot at the time in 2020 cost me 5,000 and change. When I sold it in 2023, one of this, I sold it for about 12,000 and change, right? So within a period of literally like 2.5, 3 years, I made $7,000. That's how I did it. Today, in 2024, if I wanted to sell that same plot of land, that same land is going for about 13 to all the way up to $15,000 if you can get the right person, and if they don't really, do the tremeli. We say in Julakan tremeli. I don't know how to say it in English. Bargaining. Yeah, that's how you say it in English. Bargaining. So that same plot of land can go for about $14,000 to $15,000 today, right? And it's only going to increase in value. You too can recreate this today. The thing is that you need to target places, right outside of major cities. The cities are closer now because of all the development that's happening in the Ivory Coast. So in Abidjan, for example, if you go get a plot of land in Agboville for maybe 3 millions, or maybe, which is around like $5,000, or maybe like 5 millions or 6 millions, which is around maybe like $9,000 today. In about 2 years, 3 years time frame, you might be able to make at least half of that in profit on your land, right? So think Agboville, think Dabou. If you take Senegal, for example, specifically Dakar, you can potentially go into a place like Diamniadio, maybe not smackly Diamniadio, because a couple of years ago, maybe you could have bought land in Diamniadio for maybe like $5,000. But today, you probably need a little bit more. But if you go on the outskirts, so now you're on the outskirts of the outskirts. So you go to Diamniadio, but maybe Diamniadio is a bit out of your price range. Now you can go a little bit away from Diamniadio. You're still close to Diamniadio. You can go buy a plot of land today, maybe for like $5,000, $6,000, and you sit on that, right? And as the development happens and Diamniadio continues to grow and become even a Dakar-like location, then the community is going to be forced to go out. The city is going to get even bigger. And that's when your land is going to get value. You might want to take that 5,000, that 6,000, and go buy a plot of land back home. And then if you don't have that too, you can do the route that I did, where you identify real estate development companies back home that you can tap into, right? And you can do a payment plan. So today you come, you say, all right, cool, I'm going to open, it's almost like you're opening an account with them. You say, all right, I'm gonna give you $1,000 today, and in 6 months I'm gonna give you another $1,000. So now you got $2,000 with them, and then in another like 2-3 months you can give them like 5, and then so you do that for maybe for a year and a half, 2 years time frame. Like all of a sudden you got like $4,000 or $5,000 with them, and then they can take that, and you can then take that and say, okay, cool, I'm gonna buy 2 plots of land with you on this site that you have. So if you made it this far, I'm gonna give you a bonus. This is a bonus. If you're Ivorian, if you're from the Ivory Coast and you're looking to invest in real estate today, write the name of this city down, because this city is going to blow up, I promise you. Not in the next 2 to 3 years, but in the next 5 to 7 years, this city is going to be big and it's going to be massive. You ready? Aboisseau. Aboisseau. Aboisseau is a very up and coming city. Now you're gonna think, wait, what? Aboisseau is it's actually about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from Abidjan. When you're going to like Aboisseau, you'll pass through like all the other in cities right now. So think Grand Bassam and like all that stuff. Those are the hot places right now where people are buying like heavy. Nobody's really onto Aboisseau yet. Aboisseau is a place that's going to be really, really big. I think the government also and the Football Federation has a plan to build a football stadium in Aboisseau. Aboisseau is a very up and coming city. If you have an opportunity to buy a plot of land in Aboisseau, please go do that. That is just only for the people that made it all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for sticking and watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Peace. Was that good? I still need to find an exit. Like, thanks for coming.